So here we do have match reaction to the Edinburgh Derby today, first one of the season and the first one that I can remember for a long, long time anyway, if ever, where both sides were in the bottom two places heading into the game, both needing a victory, but it finished 1-1 in the end, and you have to say the way that the game panned out, it was a bottle job from Hibs in the end, which the stat that was shown on TV was they haven't scored a single goal in the final 15 minutes of matches this season, but they've conceded 8 in that time, and well, 7 at the time. It's now 8, and you have to question whether that's just the players' mentality or the way that they're setting the team up is wrong in that parts of games, and that comes down to the manager, but. Scrappy first half has to be said. Hibs probably came the closest to scoring in the first half through Dwight Gale, although it may have been marginally offside. He should probably do better. And also, second half, for the vast majority of the second half, the best chances definitely were coming from Hibs. Again, Dwight Gale had a really good chance. There was a couple of other chances as well. They, of course, get the goal to open the scoring, but then Hearts, for the last few minutes of the game after Neil Critchley made some changes, were the ones that seemed to be pushing for the winner. But without further ado, let's get into the actual player ratings for the game. Starting off with Bursik, I mean, I think off the top of my head, he had one shot on target to contend with in the game, and it ended up in the back of the net, but there wasn't really much he could do with in regards to that one. Very close range, the goal, and you can't really blame the goalkeeper when it comes to that one. So based off that, probably go for a 6 out of 10 for him today. Lewis Miller, I thought he did pretty well in 1v1s. Defensively, didn't really have too much to do on that side after the first half, but it is what it is. In regards to that, I'll go for a 6.5 out of 10 for Lewis Miller. Ekpiteta, I thought he marshalled Lawrence Shankland very well for the game, kept him isolated. I'm going to give him the highest rating of the Hibs back four. I'm going to give him a 7.5 out of 10. El Hora, probably go for a 7 out of 10 for him. There was a shaky moment he had at one point, but other than that, not too displeased with his performance. And Jordan Obita, I'm going to go for a 6.5 out of 10 for him also. I feel as though he has had better games in a Hibs shirt from when I've seen him, especially going forward. So I'm going to go for a 6.5 out of 10 for him. Triantis, very, very interesting one. He has a massive chance in the game that probably would have killed the game off. Misses it. It's a sitter. And it has to impact his rating with the way that the game finished. So I'm going to go for a 6 out of 10 for him overall. Kwon seemed good in possession. Had an effort that just went over the bar. It claimed it was being deflected. Over the bar should have been a corner, but the ref gave a goal kick. But I'm going to give him a 6.5 out of 10. Martin Boyle, he put a few good crosses in the second half. But again, I've seen him have a much more impactful game for Hibs. I think maybe we're getting to that stage now where he's lost a yard of pace, so he's slightly less impactful than he would be normally. But I'm going to go for a 6.5 out of 10 for Martin Boyle. Junior Hoylett was certainly the standout in terms of Hibs going forward. He was creating anything and everything basically that Hibs were doing positively before coming off, so I'm going to give him the same rating that I gave earlier in the back line, which is a 7.5 out of 10. Eli Yuan, I thought he was pretty non-existent today, in all honesty. Going to give him the worst rating of any of the Hibs players. I'm going to go for a 4.5 out of 10 for him. Dwight Gale should have scored on a couple of occasions. One might have been marginally offside, but he definitely should have scored, in my opinion, at least once. So I'm going to go for a 6.5 out of 10. Obviously, it would have been higher if he did end up scoring. On to the opposition, Craig Gordon. I think You know, he made a couple of big saves in the game. The Hibs goal, he's scrambling a little bit for it with the header that comes back in. I'm not going to be too harsh on him for that, though. I'm going to go for a 7 out of 10. Oh, you go, okay. There was a couple of moments where it was quite good driving forward from him. He did okay defensively as well, so I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10 for his performance. Frankie Kent, didn't really notice him or Kai Rose all that much, to be honest, in the game defensively. So I'm going to give him, Frankie, and Kai Rose both 6.5s out of 10, to be honest. James Penrice, I thought he was the standout in the first half for Hearts. Fell off a tiny bit in the second half, but was still good, so I'm going to give him a 7.5 out of 10. Jan Danda probably didn't get involved in the game as much as he would have wanted to. There was a couple of times where he was driving the ball forward, good passes in behind for the likes of Vargas. It just didn't come off for Danda today, but I'm going to give him a 6.5 out of 10. Cammy Devlin, you know what to expect when he's playing. You get the guy that's just going to be the wee bulldog. He's going to chase after every single loose ball. So I'm going to go for a 6 out of 10 for his performance today, because he did give the ball away on a couple of occasions. Malachi Boateng, I thought when he was on the park, he was really controlled in possession, looked really comfortable, tried to get the ball forward, so I'm going to score him a 6.5 out of 10. I have to say I was surprised that he got subbed off, because I thought he was doing pretty well in the middle of the park, winning his battles, but it is what it is. Blair Spittle, top form coming into this game. He had an effort which was blocked as well. Again, probably didn't get involved in the game as much as he would have liked to, so I'm going to go for a 6.5 out of 10 for his performance today as well. Lawrence Shanklin, there was an effort that was cut back to him that he could probably should be doing better with. He's just going through a really tough patch at the moment in front of goal, it seems. However, I thought at times his hold-up play and link-up play was really good today. It just didn't come off for the most part, so I am going to go for a 6.5 out of 10 for him as well. Kenneth Vargas, he had one effort really that he potentially should be doing better with, although it is good defensively from Hibs to get the block in. But other than that, I didn't really see too much of him today, so I am going to go for a 6 out of 10 for Kenneth Vargas. On to the first of the subs, Mariah Welsh. Didn't really notice him at all, to be honest, when he came on. So he can only score a 3.5 out of 10 for me, with that being the case. Kukarevic, of course, he gets the goal when coming on. Other than that, there was maybe one other instance where he maybe could have done a wee bit better, but I am going to give him because it was coming off the bench, I'm going to go for a 6.5 out of 10 for him. Jake Doyle-Hayes didn't really do much at all, to be honest, coming off the bench. So, you know, I'm not going to give him a rating. He didn't have a lot of time to be able to impact the game in any positive way. Which leads us on to George Grant, who I am going to go... Let's go for a 4 out of 10 for George Grant. Tried to impact the game when he came on. There was a couple of times where he did so, in terms of chances being created for Hearts. So I am going to go for a 4. I'm going to go for a 4 out of 10 actually instead. 4 out of 10. Alan Forrest, he's an enigma for me, because he just seems to be dribbling the ball out of play a lot at times, but he does get the flick on, which results in the goal. So I am going to go for let's go for a 6 out of 10 for Alan Forrest. Barry Mackay picked up a couple of good positions when coming on, helped start some attacks. I'm going to go for a 4 out of 10 for Barry Mackay. James Wilson, same rating as Kukarevic. He's going to get a 6.5 out of 10. Scores the equaliser off the bench, of course, and he's scored a couple of goals for Hearts this season. 17 years old, he'll be looking to try and establish himself in the team, or perhaps get a loan move away so that he can get more first team minutes. But 6.5 out of 10 for James Wilson. And Adam Forrester, similar situation for him in terms of the fact that he wasn't on the park long enough to really impact the game at all, so I'm not going to give him a rating. On to the Hibs manager, David Gray. You know, as I was saying at the start of the video, you need to ask yourself at this point, is the results that they keep conceding late goals down to the mentality of the players, or is it down to the coaching that they are being told to drop back deep? I don't know. But at the end of the day, he keeps picking the same players that are making those mistakes. So you have to say that probably I feel harsh because they didn't get beat doing anything less than a 6 out of 10 for David Gray today. But he certainly needs to start picking up more points if he wants to stay as the Hibs manager for any length of time. And on Neil Critchley, his third game as Hearts manager. I don't know if there was a bit of a European hangover today or what have you, but there was a definite performance drop off from the players today from the other two games that I've seen since he came in. However, still undefeated as Hearts boss, so that's a positive to take away. And his subs certainly helped impact the game and get them more attacking chances than they'd had for the whole game, basically. So I am going to go for one rating higher than David Gray. I'm going to go for a 7 out of 10 for Neil Critchley. And that's the player ratings for the Edinburgh Derby. It wasn't the best game for neutrals. I would say sometimes these derbies never are because they're very tight-knit affairs, and one team, the teams don't want to get beat. Of course, you never do. However, I did say I would react to it anyway. So that is my opinions of the game. Hopefully, the next time it's on TV, it's a little bit more entertaining than it was today. We'll get a match reaction up for the Celtic Motherwell game later today as well. So if you did like what you saw, please consider subscribing and liking as well, and checking out the other videos on the channel, match reactions, and of course the SPFL RTG on FC25. But I'll catch you later.